processes used to complete the work defined in the project schedule to accomplish the project's requirements. Implementation involves coordinating people and resources. The project implementation phase begins when team members begin working on the tasks assigned them by the project manager. Implementation is usually the longest phase in the project lifecycle, and it typically consumes the most energy and the most resources and gives a defined period for the deliverables outlined in the project management plan to be realized. The following tasks should take place during the project implementation phase. They will help ensure minimal scope change and will also provide a baseline against which progress is tracked. Time management. The project manager checks to ensure that the project is being completed on schedule. Cost management. The project manager ensures that all expenses are accounted for and necessary. Quality management is the quality of the product or process to the specifications of the stakeholders. Change management. Should something change in the stakeholders' specifications or schedule, the project manager may need to change the plans for the project accordingly. Issue or risk management. During the execution phase, issues should be carefully tracked so that the project manager and other team members are aware of any problems that come up during execution. It is the project manager's responsibility to identify and evaluate potential risks, derive a response strategy and action plans to contain the risks, implement the actions, and monitor the results. They are also responsible for managing the team and activities in meetings, communicating, supporting, and helping with decisions. One of the big challenges for a project manager is deciding how much freedom to give each delegated activity. Tight parameters and lots of checking are necessary for inexperienced people who like clear instructions. But this approach may not suit experienced, entrepreneurial, and creative people. They need a wider brief, more freedom, and less checking. Manage these people by the results they get, not how they get them. Look out for differences in personality and working styles in your team. Misunderstanding personal styles can get in the way of team cooperation. Your role here is to enable and translate. Face-to-face meetings, when you can bring team members together, are generally the best way to avoid issues and relationships becoming personalized and emotional. Communicate progress and success regularly to everyone. Give the people in your team the plaudits, particularly when someone high up expresses satisfaction. Conversely, the project manager must take the blame for anything that goes wrong. Any problem is always ultimately down to you. Use empathy and conflict handling techniques as in the leadership modules and look out for signs of stress and manage it accordingly. A happy, positive team with a basic plan will outperform a miserable team with a brilliant plan every time. At the implementation phase, we need to ensure that there is opportunity to check the progress of activities against the plan and adjust the plan if necessary in light of performance, changing circumstances, and new information, but remain on track and within the original terms of reference. It is important to use transparent measurements when judging performance. Therefore, it is essential to have these measures in place and clearly agreed before the task begins. Identify, agree, and delegate new actions as appropriate. Inform team members and those in authority about developments clearly, concisely, and in writing. Plan team review meetings. Stick to the monitoring systems you established. Analyze causes and learn from mistakes. Identify experts in the team and use them. And finally, as your project nears its end, we need to consider a closure and handover so that the project deliverables can be reviewed by the customer according to the agreed acceptance criteria. At this stage, we check that the project has achieved the targets outlined in the project management plan. This prevents additional items being added which were not included in the original scope, and that the project is completed and allow the project team to disband. At the end of your successful project, hold a review with the team and meet with all stakeholders to define the closure process. Ensure you understand what happened and why. Reflect on any failures and mistakes positively, objectively, and without allocating personal blame. But also reflect on successes gratefully and realistically establish the closure criteria with the customer. Write a review report, making observations and recommendations about follow-up issues and priorities. There will be plenty. Ensure any lessons learned from the project are recorded. Where a project sponsor is involved, it is reasonable for this role to be responsible for top-level reporting and review, and where applicable, recognizing and rewarding the successful project manager and team too. Plan for the transfer of team members to the next project or back to their operational roles. Audit the project, complete all project files, check that the project benefits have been achieved. The opportunity to use technology to use these methods on-site or off-site can be developed with the view to convey the methods electronically whilst out in the field.